Hello guys and welcome back to Happy Freak Friends. I'm Chris X and we are playing again Elder Scrolls Online, awesome builds for new players and not only. And today we're going with the Magicka Dragonites. My favorite builds are Dragonites, so bear with me for the details for this awesome build, which has a very high critical and awesome damage. In this build we're gonna talk as always about the race, the Mundus Stone, the CP points, the skills, the gear and of course the rotation. So for the race, for this build I'm going with a Khajiit, but you can easily go with a High Elf or a Breton. It's entirely up to you which race you're gonna choose, but I'm going for the Khajiit because of the higher critical damage percentage, as well some resources. Of course the Breton has also many resources. If you feel more confident with the Breton you can go for it, and of course the High Elf makes more damage. But Khajiit is the best choice for this build. For the Mundus Stone, we are going of course with the Thief, which increases our spell critical strike ratings, and if you don't know where it is, you can go all the way on the north of the map to East March, and down at the bottom you will find the Thief Mundus Stone. Now for the CP points. Again, for the crafting CP points, the green ones, you don't need to place them on the same spot like mine, so I'm not going through all the skills. It's up to you which you're gonna use. If you like to have more gold, higher quality items from treasure chests, higher speed for your character or for your mount, so it's entirely up to you which skills you're gonna choose. Now for the fitness, we are going with the fortified, which gives more armor, with the rejuvenations, which give more recoveries. I'm going personally for the Boundless Vitality to give me some more health, but you can choose something else instead. And we're going of course with the siphoning spells to get all this Magicka back to us as soon as we kill enemies, and we're gonna kill a lot, I assure you. For the warfare, we are definitely going with the fighting finesse, so your critical damage is gonna be even higher. With a deadly aim, with a biting aura, and of course with the Thaumaturge, which is the most important for this build, because most of our skills are gonna be damage over time. If you're flanking, you can go for the Backstabber, so I recommend you to unlock this and always have it ready, so you can swap to it by sacrificing biting aura when you're flanking an enemy, especially a boss. When you're 90 degrees on the left or on the right or behind him, you can use the Backstabber to get this 15% critical damage even higher. It's very important to have the Backstabber for some cases that you are flanking the boss, which gonna be in a lot of occasions. Now for the gear. Now with the gear we will have a small discussion about the monster set, but let's go first with the other two sets, which is gonna be of course again the Inferno Staff of Mother Sorrow. If you will have the Inferno Staff from the other set that we're gonna talk about in a bit, it's better to have it in front, so you can have the Mother Sorrow always in both bars activated. But of course in this build it's not really important to have high critical on the back bar, because mostly are buffs. So again you can go with the Inferno Staff of Mother Sorrow on the front bar, and of course all your jewelry have to be Mother Sorrow as well. It's easy to get it because you can buy it from guild traders and in logical prices. If you will search around the world, around Tamriel, you will find plenty of purple, even gold, Mother Sorrow in logical prices, jewelry, so go for it, it's a no-brainer. But you will have to get also some glyphs for spell damage, to be precise 3, because you will have to use this glyph for all 3 jewelry, and the trait needs to be bloodthirsty in all 3 pieces. For the clothes we're going with the Burning Spell Weave, a very easily to be obtained in early game and very powerful set. You get it from City of Ash 1 and 2 dungeons. You can farm it very easily in normal, which is gonna be in blue condition, and it's not gonna be expensive to get it up to purple. So Burning Spell Weave for the clothes, for all the clothes, except for the shoulders and head. For the clothes traits, we're gonna go of course with the Divines for all 7 pieces, because we're gonna have this 8.1 more to our Mundustone, which is gonna be the Thief. It makes our critical chance even higher, and when they're gonna be gold, all the items here, they're gonna make the chance even higher, up to 9.1. So the Inferno Staff of Mother Sorrow should be glyphed with the flame damage and should have the trait Precise. And for the back bar, we're going for the Maelstrom Inferno Staff. Again, many people in early levels feel inconfident to complete the Maelstrom Arena. I assure you that it's possible as soon as you will reach 160 CP to complete it with no problems. So you will have to farm it. It's a rare drop, but it's an important to have one. So Maelstrom Arena Inferno Staff, which you will have to use the glyph for weapon damage enchantment, and the infused trait. And now for the monster set. The best monster set for this build is gonna be the Zan, which you can get from Scale Color Peak dungeon in Veteran. It's a very hard to be completed dungeon in early levels, so there are some alternative choices. So if you feel uncomfortable to finish the Scale Color Peak, you can go then for the Maw of the Infernal, which is the monster set from completing Banished Cells 2 in Veteran, which again is a hard dungeon because of the last boss is really annoying. So again, another alternative, if you can't complete it and you can't obtain the Maw of the Infernal, you can go from the Slime Crow. That is from the Way Resurs 1, a very easy dungeon in Veteran, so you can get this crit and the Minor Berserk at all times. Now, since we are in the meta period, if you like, you can go for different sets, different monster sets. You can go for the Head of Slime Crow, and you can go for the Shoulders of Zan, which you can get with 5 Undaunted Keys, or even with the Shoulders of Iceheart, which also give critical chance. So you can combine an Iceheart piece for the shoulders or a Zan piece for the shoulders with a Slime Crow, and you get by both higher critical chance. So again, priority for this build is Zan as a monster set. If you can't get that, go for the Maw of the Infernal. If you can't get that either, go for the Slime Crow or for the 2 different pieces of monster sets. Now let's go through the skills. As always, we're gonna start by the back bar, and of course we're gonna go to the front bar. So now the first skill that we're using on the back bar, it's coming from the Draconic Power, is the Volatile Armor, which gives you spell and physical resistance for 20 seconds, very important. But except for the resistances, it makes also damage over time, so it's 2 in 1. Very, very important skill. The next one, which is the most important skill of all for DKs, is the Molten Armaments. Molten Armaments come from Earthen Heart. Is the second skill. It's the only skill that we're gonna use from Earthen Heart skill line, but it's important to have it because it gives major brutality and major sorcery. So you increase your spell damage by 20% for 36 seconds, and your heavy attacks are more powerful. And a very important passive to have, which for me is still low, but I will definitely rank it up. It's the Mountain's Blessing. Because whenever you use Molten Armaments or any other Earthen Heart skill, but in this occasion we're gonna have only this one, you also give minor brutality to your teammates. So you can give for 20 seconds minor brutality to all your teammates, and you generate 3 ultimates every 6 seconds. Very important to use it not only for you, but also for your teammates. Next skill that we are using are the Burning Talons, which they come from the Draconic Power skill line, and it's another flame damage over time. It also immobilizing the enemies, and it creates the Ignite synergy, so your teammates can activate another almost 9,000 flame damage. Next skill that I'm using is a self-healing. You can swap it for something else that I would recommend, but if you feel uncomfortable unequipping it, you can go for a self-healing. In my opinion, a self-healing skill is always important to have on your back bar. The one that I'm using is the Echoing Vigor from the Azult skill line, but if you feel confident that you can play without the self-healing, you can use the Soul Trap, which is another powerful magic damage over time effect. Another alternative comes from the Fighters Guild skill line, and it's gonna be the Trap Beast that you're gonna morph it into Barb Trap later. another very important damage over time, which also increases your critical damage. So again, if you don't want to go for the self-healing, you can swap it for one of those two. Fifth skill that we're using is, of course, the Wall of Elements, which with the right staff, with the flame staff, you deal additional damage to burning enemies. And of course, the enemies are gonna be in burning status almost all the time with this build. So for the ultimates, I'm using on both bars the same. Of course, you can go in one of the bars with the ultimate of Destruction Staff skill line or the Mage's Guild. Mage's Guild, of course, is a little bit annoying to get it up to level 10. So you can go for the Destruction Staff Elemental Storm on one of the two bars. But for this build, I'm going still for the Standard of Might ultimate, which comes from the Ardent Flame, for two specific reasons. First, because it's an Ardent Flame skill which has to be on the front bar, and I will explain you in a bit why you have to have it on the front bar, and because it's an awesome skill to use. It's a little bit expensive, of course. It needs 250 ultimate, but it creates a 20-second flame damage. It applies Major Defile to your enemies, and also you create the synergy, the Shackle synergy, which can be activated by your teammates to make some more additional flame damage. Very important skill to have it mostly in the front bar, which will be explained right now. We will start with the Inner Light. That is a very easily to be obtained skill by the Mage's skill line. You just have to level up to level 2. You're gonna get the Mage Light and you're gonna morph it in Inner Light. This skill is not usable. You just have to have it slotted on the front bar, which increases your max magicka and also gives you Major Prophecy at all times. Now for the other skills. Again, I recommend having all the Ardent Flame skills on the front bar for one specific reason. As soon as you will use the Flames of Oblivion first, the Burning Embers second, the Engulfing Flames third, then you can use the Molten Whip, which makes flame damage. But whenever you activate a different Ardent Flame ability first, which means 3 more, plus the ultimate, you're going to strike a 33% more powerful Molten Whip to your enemies. And because this stacks, it's gonna be even higher. So the front bar, it's like you're playing a piano. First you use the Standard of Might, if it's ready. Then you go for the 3 other Ardent Flame abilities. It doesn't matter in which sequence. I personally go first for the Flames of Oblivion, then for the Burning Embers, then for the Engulfing Flames, and only then for the Molten Whip. So then you just repeat the same sequence and you get your damage very, very high. Flames of Oblivion is a must to have on the front bar, because except for the damage over time, you get also Major Prophecy. The Burning Embers is another attack that makes instant damage and also damage over time, and also heals you for the 75% of the total damage that you inflicted. And most important, the enemies get the burning status effects after being hit with the Burning Embers. Then the Engulfing Flames, as known as the Flamethrower, again another very powerful skill, making instant flame damage and also 14 seconds damage over time. And only then, again, I repeat, the Whip, the Molten Whip, which makes a powerful flame damage, which gonna be much higher if you will enable other Ardent Flame abilities first. So again, Standard of Might on the front bar, then the 3 Ardent Flame abilities, and then the 4th one, which has to be used only after the rest, which creates a very powerful damage, which we're gonna see right now on the rotation. So for the rotation, we're gonna start with the Molten Armaments, the Spiked Armor, the Talons, the Wall of Elements, of course the ultimate, and now we're gonna go to the front bar to start playing our piano. So all the Ardent Flame abilities first, and only then the whip, the Molten Whip. Again, back bar, same method, same sequence. Molten Armaments, don't forget that. And then all the Ardent Flame skills. And they create a perfect combination to bring a very high damage to any opponent. So again, Molten Armaments, the Spiked Armor, the Talent, the Wall of Elements, the Ultimate, and then all the other skills. You can just understand that this DPS is really high, amazing. A very awesome build, easy to use, and very fun to play. And of course, don't forget to make your light damage, so the Zan will do its work as well. If you have it, if you don't, that's alright. You can play even without it. It's an awesome rotation, easy to play with. I highly recommend it as a build. So that was the build for today, guys. For new and not only new players, an awesome build to use and very fun to play. So if you have any questions, please write me on the comment below. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe in the channel for more. And probably I'm gonna come back for some more awesome builds for new and not only new players. So thank you guys very much for watching. I was Chris X, and I'll see you all next. Goodbye.